This gentleman that's about to speak is about to bring the fire, as not only is he one of our newest educators, but on top of that, he's also a chairman in his own right. So he's been able to build a team all around the world, impacting lives with this information, and now has become one of the top educators on our platform, that educates over 250,000 students worldwide. So I want you guys to really pay close attention. I remember seeing this gentleman going from event to event, and he always dressed fly, and he was a content creator for many years. And then all of a sudden, boom, I hear he hits chairman. And now to know that he's going to be an educator on the platform, guys, it's absolutely unbelievable. So I want you guys to give your full attention to this gentleman as he starts. And I'm going to go ahead and open the chat one more time. Let's drop some 222s in the chat box for Mr. J. Awal. And he's going to come on, guys, and share with you how you can learn how to make money in these markets. Welcome, Jay, bro.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a great night. I want to see the 222s in the chat as we go ahead and give it back to my man Steve. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate everyone showing up tonight just to be able to learn with me. But it's Tuesday night, and it's on like it's on. It's game time. You know, I think prime time when it comes to trading, for me at least, in these markets have been, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I really like the middle of the market because it's kind of the meat of the market. The trends have already been set. The sales have already been pointing for the week on Tuesday for the most part. And it kind of gives you good insight of what direction the market is going, what kind of state the market is in. But I'm going to be real. It wasn't until about a year ago that I actually started taking trading a lot more serious. You know, for the first couple of years, inside of this industry, trading, I honestly developed a fear with it. I developed a sense that I didn't want to face, the person that I was as a trader with the person that I wasn't as a trader. And for those of you guys that are really new to trading, what I will tell you is trading is the most simple thing in the world that can be sometimes, depending on you're willing to be coachable, depending on you're willing to actually grow and learn as a human being, not just as a person, not just as a moneymaker, but as a human being, it can be really difficult. Because on the opposite end of trading, on the successful end of trading, it goes against everything that we're naturally taught, or that I've figured up until this point as a human. Like, our mind is really designed to protect us, and nobody likes losing money. Drop a 111 in the chat if you do not like losing money. If you like making money, all right? I want to see who's in the chat that doesn't like losing money. So what happens is, and for all my new people on here, I want to get into the value. I'm less concerned about, sharing with you the things that you'll learn in the academy, but more so really like the meat and potatoes. Like, I want to be real with you guys when it comes to trading and share with you how it is that you're going to be able to develop the mindset first. So that way you can come into trading and you can save yourself from all the mistakes that people make in trading. And that's why people have such a weird connotation about it. Drop a 222 in the chat if you ever heard trading is like gambling. Drop a 222 in that chat if you've ever heard that from someone in your family, maybe someone in your circle, someone that you invited to Thanksgiving dinner, at a New Year's party once. Stocks are risky. It's like gambling, right? Like, you only put money in there that you're willing to lose, right? We hear these things about risk, okay? And what we're talking about here is risk. And we hear these things about trading, like trading is gambling. And, for the longest time, I was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So, gambling was like the thing to do. It's like, why would you learn how to trade when you can just go to the casino? Like, that's how some people really think that, right? They're like, I'd much rather play slots than learn how to actually trade. But on the opposite end, right? On the opposite end, we're the type of people that are like, look, I don't want to do the whole slots thing. I'm not with gambling my money. But I do accept the risk that's involved with trading, and I'm willing to educate myself to make a profit. Drop a 333 in the chat if you're that type of person. You're willing to accept the risk as a trader because you have an edge. At the casino, right, you have to put your money up first, and then the pattern appears. The winning pattern appears. But guess what? With trading, the pattern appears first, and then we're able to put our money up. Does that make sense? In gambling, you put your money up first, you buy in, you put the coins in, then you pull the lever, right? But with trading, you only pull the lever once the 777s are across the board. You only put the chips on the table once there's a flush on the table. Does that make sense? So how I started, I had to look at trading. And I'm going to tell you guys, I've read so many trading books. I've really educated myself on this because it pissed me off. It did. It got under my skin. In the beginning of trading, I was the most hard-headed person. And what a grace it is to be able to sit with me tonight, because I'm going to save you guys thousands of dollars, all right? This is why I'm going to save you thousands of dollars. When I came into trading, I did not listen to the rules, all right? I thought that if since I can put a dresser together while kind of looking at the instructions, you know, drop it one in the chat if you ever like looked at some instructions and you start doing it anyways. You just start putting it together, right? Like we don't really look at all of the whole picture. You just kind of like glance over it. Oh, I think I know how to put this desk together. I got a couple screws that comes with a screwdriver. How hard can it be? All right. And we come into trading and you come into IM Mastery Academy and you get these tools, these softwares, these artificial intelligence, right? That you believe is kind of like the instruction manual, but you do what you've done to the dresser and to the ceiling fan and everything else you put together that comes with instructions, and you glance over it and you still just kind of figure it out on your own. And that is the single-handedly most destructive thing that you can do in trading. Let me see something in the chat if this is clicking. Even for the new people, if you're new on this call, drop new in the chat. Is this clicking? Is this helping you understand risk and investments a little bit? Because the hard, cold fact of this all is that every trade has an uncertain outcome. And unless you completely accept the possibility of an uncertain outcome, you will try consciously or unconsciously to avoid any possibility you define as painful. And with a lot of people, the association of money comes with the association of pain, and it comes with the association of happiness. So what happens with trading is people develop this fear of losing. And confidence and fear are some of the most contradictory states of minds that stem really from our belief and from our attitude, right? Confidence, and fear are really different than each other. So at one point in the market, you learn about it, you become confident, because confidence is gained through understanding. We all know this. The more you study something, the more you understand it, you're going to be confident about it. But then on the other side of it is you don't want to lose money, because, you know, losing money is associated with pain, and pain, you become fearful of it. So with trading, what I want to really get through to you guys tonight, and what I want to share with you, is trading is really just all a mindset, all right? And most traders would agree that creating trading rules makes sense on one hand, but on the other hand, they resist doing it. The resistance isn't always the fact that it's pretty subtle. It's often intense and it has a logical source. People don't create rules for themselves because they're scared to break them. They're scared to break them. So most of the structure in our mind was obviously given to us as we grew up, and is based on the choices made by other people, and it was instilled in our minds, but it did not come from our mind. And the distinction is really important. When we are instilling, right, this mental structure, when we switch from regular person, right, that's just thinking our mind is made to protect us, risk is bad, don't touch the hot stove because it's hot, it can burn you, to, oh, I'm looking at the market and probabilities, then you can actually dive into the market and you can take responsibility for your trades, and you can be completely emotionless. So the first thing that I'm going to teach you today is how to define a structure inside of your trading, all right? And this is the single-handedly most important thing. It's the most important thing that I've learned, and it's the most important thing that's going to learn from you. And this took me 2.5 years to do, because I didn't want to accept what would come with it if I didn't follow it, because I would feel pretty dumb. I'd feel pretty stupid. And what I'm holding in my hand, I just peeled off of the corner of my computer. And it's a sticky note that my girlfriend cut for me. It has, like, you know, it's a pink back with like some polka dots. Pretty funny, right? But on the other side, it's blank white. And on there is my trading checklist, all right? And in this trading checklist, it's something that I have to go through mentally before I can enter that trade. It is in front of me at all times. I see it hanging in front of me. I can't neglect it. And if it's out of sight, out of mind. But since it's in sight, it's in mind. And if I don't follow these rules, now that they're blatantly placed in front of me and I set it up in front of me, I got to be the dumbest person that's self-sabotaging my success. Drop a 111 in the chat if you agree. If you literally go against the checklist that you put in front of you so you can win, on purpose, based on emotions, you are literally lighting your boat on fire, right? You're going to your stove right now and you're leaving everything flammable on top and you're turning it on high. That's literally what you're doing, right? And it's crazy to think that emotions play such a big role. So I'm going to give you guys my trading checklist that's going to combat the urge to revenge trade, the urge to take trades based on what you feel as opposed to what you see, all right? And the first thing that I put in my trading checklist is SRTs, right? SRTs on the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour. All right, SRTs on the daily, 4 hour, and 1 hour. This is my checkbox number one. If I don't do this, I'm not getting into the market. If I get into the market without doing it, it drastically lowers my probability of a winning trade. After I do the SRTs, I'm gonna step back, I'm gonna look at the market, and I'm gonna define what's my market structure. What direction is the market going in? Right? What direction the market's going in. So I'm going to draw this out for you guys here so you can see it and understand a little bit better. Cool. My market structure. What is the market condition? The third is the strategy alert. This is when I'm going to involve our softwares here within IM Mastery Academy. Once I involve the software, I get an edge on the market, I'm going to go ahead and do my risk management. Risk management isn't in only taking the trade, but it's also in how it is that we're trading in the market. I want you guys to realize something. It is risk management if I do check number one. Risk management isn't only in how much money you're putting into the market. Risk management also is in doing your due diligence before you before you click that button, there's risk management that's going on. Drop a 222 in the chat if you guys understand that. There's risk management going on before you enter that trade, before you click that button. And that risk management comes from following a trading strategy, having a confirmation or trading checklist. Now, number 5 is going to be my trading journal. All right, my trading journal, number 5. So I want you guys to write this down. And what I would recommend is either print this out, take a picture of this, print it out, write it on a little piece of paper, grab a nice fat piece of duct tape or, clear packing tape and just slap that baby right in the corner of your computer screen. So it's blatant, you can see it because you mean business and this is serious, right? Now the consistency that people are looking for in trading isn't in the markets, it isn't in the charts. The consistency that they're looking for and the consistency that they need to be looking for is on the chart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go to a pair and we're gonna go through the trading checklist together, all right? Now, in order to go and find a pair, I'm gonna go to my broker account. When I choose a pair to do SRTs on, I'm gonna take you guys at the very beginning. When I choose a pair to do SRTs on, what that means is I'm choosing a pair that is paying out high in my broker already. I'm not going to just choose a pair like, oh, let's just see what Euro AUD is doing. All right, I'm not doing that. I'm going here saying, okay, AUD CAD's paying out 72%. All right, it's paying out 72%. That's something I'd want to trade. We are only trading 70% payout pairs and above. And why we're doing that is because we know in the world of probabilities, in the world of numbers, that if it's 70% payout, if I get 70 cents back on my dollar for a profitable entry, right, then I must be at least 70% accurate as well. I need to be at least 70% accurate, all right? I need to be at least 70% accurate to be a profitable trader, right? So we only take 70% trades and above. So I find AUD CAD here, and I go over to Liberty. Now, the style of trading that I'm going to be teaching on Go Live and the style of trading that I'm going to introduce you to tonight is what's called 15-minute HFX trades, all right? 15-minute options trades. I'm taking 15 to 45-minute trades, and I'm using the strategy called Web Slinger. So let's go back really quick to the IM Center, And let me walk you guys from scratch how it is that you can get to, all right, the Liberty Scanner. First thing you do is obviously you go ahead and go to imcenter.com, you log in, and you click strategies on the left-hand side. When you do that, you're going to be shown all the academies. When you see all the academies, you're going to click HFX. You're going to click the first one's already highlighted automatically, and you go to Liberty. Now, when you do, it's going to load you more than likely on the most recent strategy you were using. So you're going to click strategies on the top left-hand corner. You're going to navigate to the bottom one that's called WebSlinger 2.0. All right. WebSlinger 2.0. It's going to usually start you off in the 1 hour time frame, and the pair that's shown, all right, the pair that's shown on the chart is always shown on the top left-hand corner of the screen, so you know what it is that you're looking at. You don't want to make the mistake as a beginner trader or even someone that's advanced but forgets to go through this mental checklist and just double check what pair, because last thing you want to do is be looking at the wrong chart when you're taking these trades, right? So this is the web slinger. I'm going to go over the strategy, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some SRTs. Now you can draw SRTs right here inside of this, or you can open up TradingView and you can do it on there. All right. So if I'm trading on Euro USD, or excuse me, AUD CAD, I'm going to go to AUD CAD here. Now, if it's not on the alert panel, guys, we can still change the pair on WebSlinger. We just type it in, AUD CAD, and we're going to go to the 1 hour time frame. Cool? This makes sense? Drop a 1-1 in the chat. So we go to the AUD CAD time frame. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do, all right, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my SRTs, all right? Now, I'm going to do this on the daily. AUD CAD, let's erase this. We're going to do this on the daily first. And the reason why I'm going to do this on the daily is I just want to know what direction the market's in. I just want to know what direction everything's going in. So when we're drawing support and resistance, we're looking for the most floors and the most ceilings, right? We're looking for the most floors and we're looking for the most ceilings. And on the daily, I'm gonna go ahead and use a red line because I know that's really important. I know the color red's really important. You know, red stop signs, red stop lights. Red's really important. It says, hey, stop, look at me for a second. All right. So I'm gonna use that color because the daily is a really strong chart. The higher the time frame, the stronger the move. And I'm gonna go ahead and go through and I'm gonna draw some daily support and resistance. Right. I'm gonna draw some daily support and resistance. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna try to get a couple done. All right. I'm gonna switch this to a line chart really quick. I'm just gonna make sure everything looks good on the line chart because sometimes the candlesticks will trick you. So I'm actually gonna bring this up here. I'm actually gonna bring this down here a little bit because I see all these touches, right? I see these mountain tops and I see these valleys. And I'm just drawing some lines. And what I'm looking for when I'm drawing support and resistance, we're gonna go super basics beginner, is I'm looking for multiple touches. So I just did a rectangular box over 1, 2, 3 touches on that line. All right, that means that's a strong line. Then over here, these were all playing with it over here. Multiple touches on that same line. So this is pretty strong, all right? And I see the same thing here. Touch over here, and it's now riding this line. All right, so we draw the support and resistance on the daily, and then I switch it to a candlestick chart, and I say, all right, we're going to the hour. I want to do a top-down, right, analysis. I want to look at what this thing is doing before I go into the market. I went into the market condition. So let's play a little game really quick. If someone feels like they know, based on the daily time frame, all right, right now, based on the daily time frame, we got our support and resistance. Let's draw some trend lines, all right? Let's widen this thing out. Let's draw some trend lines. Boom, we have a trend line on the top. So we're going like in a channel right now, right? We're going sideways, and in what direction? I want you guys to raise your hand if you can tell me what direction is this market going in right now? We're looking at the forest. We're not looking at the trees. We're looking at the forest. Raise your hand. I want to see the participants and which way is it going? Drop it in the chat. Which way is it going? Down. So I want you guys to picture us climbing a mountain, all right? Or us rowing a boat, or us running in the wind. Is it easier to run against the wind? Is it easier to swim against the current? Is it easier to run uphill? Or is it easier to run downhill? Is it easier to swim with the current? Is it easier to run with the wind at your back? It's easier to run with the wind at your back, which means we adopt this saying in trading called the trend is your friend. All right. We adopt this style in trading called the trend is your friend. So if this baby is going down, right, then I want to be looking for, right? I want to be looking for puts. I want to be looking for sells. But that's only on the daily. All right. So let's like go inside of this and let's look closer on the 1 hour. And we're going to start looking at this thing now on Liberty. We know we have our SRTs drawn. We know we have a level here that it hasn't broken through. And what we're seeing is that the market's kind of working its way back up into this line area. And it's kind of like trying, but it's not working. So we're going to go to the web slinger, and we're going to pull open AUD CAD. All right. And if you guys can see AUD CAD on the web slinger, all right, since we identified market structure, since we did our SRTs, the web slinger is showing that this is also going down, all right? I do it on the daily, 1 hour, and 15. So check this out, all right? 4 hour, 1 hour, sorry. But I'm also gonna look at the 15. So we're on the 1 hour here. On the 1 hour, I'm coming over to the web slinger, and I'm saying, okay, if this thing is going down, right? If this thing is going down, I'm going to draw the same little things on the 1 hour chart here, so it's in front of me on this chart. I know that where I'm at, I identified market structure over on TradingView. I didn't want to make too many lines on here with everything else, so I'm going to draw some lines, some support and resistance on the charts, some trend lines, so I kind of know as well with technicals which way this thing is going. All right? I'm going to keep this using the red candles. I'm going to keep this on the red candles. All right. All right. So what we're looking for now is web slinger. Now, web slinger is super simple. All right. We have a couple rules to web slinger, and I'm going to give you guys the rules to web slinger right now, what we're looking for. We know that the daily time frame, the 1 hour time frame, is everything's going down right now, right? We have like a downtrend kind of going on. So we want to run with the current at our back. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at AUD CAD, and we're going to say, hey, this thing is going down. On the web slinger, what am I looking for? We have a couple things that we're looking at while you guys look at my screen. The first thing that I just marked with this red arrow is the cloud. All right, we're just going to call it the cloud, make it super easy. All right, this is called the cloud. And we want to make sure that price is below the red cloud if we are looking for a put or a sell. All right, if it is below the cloud. So for web slinger, what we're looking for, a put, we're looking for it to be one below the cloud, all right, below red cloud. The second thing that we're looking for is we're looking for price to be below the red web strings. Price to be below the red web strings, which I just go ahead and identified. I'm holding the arrow over all of them. You guys can see this, drop a 111 in the chat. All these web strings. Now, we're going to focus in on this one right here. Drop a 111 in the chat if you guys can see my screen and you guys see the red web strings. I'm zooming in so you guys can see this really close. All right. There's one web string that's really thick and it changes colors. You guys see it. I'm following with my cursor right now. Red, and then it goes green and red. Does everyone see that? We're going to call that the super trend line. All right. And we need price at or crossing red super trend line. These are our confirmations for our strategy. And lastly, we need the put or sell arrow. All right. So because everyone has a different style of trading, I am not the type of trader, and I just learned this because I've just self-sabotaged my account so many times, that I'm not the type of trader that goes looking for setups, okay? I'm the type of trader, and if you like this style of trading where you're not sitting in front of the computer for hours, right? And you're not getting excited or getting mad when you lose because things are moving so fast in HFX, and you know that in order for you not to over leverage, in order for you to take trading serious long term, you got to have some type of calmness to it. You got to have some type of grace to it. You're like the Kung Fu master. You know what I mean? Like, you're not coming here to beat up the markets. You're here to be like civil, and you're going to wait for the market to be right in an exact point in time, and then you're going to take the trade. Okay? You don't want to go out there hunting. You want to go out there and wait for the setup to come to you. So what we're doing is we're looking at all these things, and we're saying, okay, the market is moving overall down. I see that. We have the Liberty app on the 1 hour time frame calling out a sell, all right? And it just did that. Like, literally, we just had it below the red cloud, below red web strings, and price was at the red line or crossing through it, and they got a sell arrow, all right? There's 23 minutes left on this candle. So we're going to zoom in, and we're going to go to the 15, and we're going to see what's happening in the 15. We also have the red cloud below the red web strings, and price called out a sell up here. So had you taken this trade, right? Had you taken this trade, you would have been able to enter your position up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this thing in multiple different time frames. And it's crazy because, you know, before I started this session, I opened up my charts. I started opening up my trading platform. And I started going through and seeing, you know, what things were lining up. And I saw this kind of playing out. And I was like, man, I wish we started this session like 10 minutes earlier, because literally the candles were moving up and we were closing out that last candle, and we had a sell position, like prime time position for us to take a trade. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how this strategy works and how you can actually use it, you know, so you can actually take trades on your own. But at the same time, if we see a setup based on what this thing is paying out in 72%, we'll go through this together. We'll go ahead and take a trade together. But if we don't see a setup, we're not going to chase the market. We're going to let the market come to us. All right. So I want to show you guys an example of jumping down to the 15-minute time frame and how many candles you guys are actually taking this trade for, because a lot of people have questions when it comes to how long do I enter my trade, right? So what you do on your broker is you're able to go and actually change your expiration time. Now, you can do this on pocket options, you can do this on Vide Forex, you can do this on race options, you can do this on any one of the accounts. It's all the same exact thing. I use a couple different brokers just so I have diversity, and I recommend you do the same exact thing, okay? So what we do is we change our expiration time. Now, the question I'm going to ask you guys is, if we use a 3 candlestick confirmation, and I'm on a 15-minute time frame chart, how long is the trade that I'm going to take? Anyone drop that in the chat? How long is the trade that I'm going to take? All right, so we got a couple different answers. If I'm taking on a 15-minute chart and I'm using a 3 candlestick conversation, that means that each one of these candles is what price did in 15 minutes. I'm going to take a 45-minute trade. 45-minute trade. If I'm on a 5-minute time frame and we're using the 3 candlestick confirmation, how many minutes is that trade? All right, 15, right? So if we know this, then we're going to go ahead and change it in our broker to 15 minutes. I'm going to change my time to 15 minutes. And what we're going to do is what we would have done on the 15-minute and the 5-minute. We had price calling out sells. I mean, this whole way down, literally, there's like printing money. Check this out, guys. So if you were to use all of these strategies, all of the strategies that I laid out, the entire checklist for WebSlinger, all right? The entire checklist for WebSlinger, if you were to use that, I think I wrote it up here. if you were to use that all the way down, including most recently, this is what you would have had. You would have taken on a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute trade, and every time it was below the red cloud, below the red wedge strings, because the market's trending, it's going down, you had a 5-minute position here. This was literally all day today. You had a 5-minute position here, 5, 10, 15, closed in profit. Another sell arrow called 5, 10, 15, closed out in profit. Another sell is called 5, 10, 15, ended in profit. You entered again during this candle as a sell, 5, 10, 15, profit. If you guys can see that, drop a money sign in the chat. So the strategy is really simple. And what might confuse you is when this happens. And I want to show you guys what to do when this happens. The market isn't below the red wedge strings here. In this box that I just outlined, the market isn't below the red web strings. In fact, it's above these web strings. In fact, the line isn't red anymore, it's green. But I'm still under the red cloud. Would I have taken this sell right here that I'm zoomed in on? I'm below the red web strings, all right, right here. I'm below the red web strings. I got to sell. Would I have taken that trade? The market's going down on the 15-minute. It's going down on the 1 hour. It's going down. But if I'm on the 5-minute chart, would I have taken that trade? No. You see what happens is with trading, you start seeing water in the desert. So Eric, what I want to clarify for you is it doesn't follow the checklist. Why doesn't it follow the checklist? Because the price isn't below the red super trend line. The red super trend line is red now, but we're still, okay, we're still above these web strings. It's not like the super trend line is above us, we're above it. Does that see that? You guys see that? It doesn't follow our checklist. So since it doesn't follow our checklist, we don't take that trade. The checklist, the almighty checklist. Now, let me ask you this. You see a buy. Let's go over to a buy example, all right? Let's go over to a buy example so you guys see a buy example on all right, this is a great example. So here's a buy example. Guys, the checklist is now flipped to the color blue. Everything red now must be blue. Everything below now must be above. Is that easy enough to understand? If price needed to be below the cloud before for a put, then for a buy, it needs to be what? Drop it in the chat. For a buy, it needs to be what? Above. So the first checklist is price is above the blue cloud. The second is price is above the blue web strings right here. The third is price is touching or crossing through the blue super trend line. We don't change anything to show the blue cloud. The software automatically changes the color of the cloud based on the trend and the direction of the market. It's known as an Ichimoku cloud. It's actually an indicator. Very similar to like an RSI or the stochastic, except it's in a cloud. So we have it above the blue cloud, above the blue web strings. It is touching or crossing through the blue super trend line. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a blue arrow, a blue buy arrow. If price is above the blue cloud, all right, I wouldn't have taken these. Why? Because it's a red cloud. So I'm looking over here. If price is above the blue cloud, above the blue web strings, touching, crossing, or piercing the blue super trend line, I get the blue arrow. I enter a buy. I enter a buy, and depending on the time frame I'm on, I enter the trade based on the time. So if I'm on a 5-minute chart, I'm taking a 15-minute trade. If I'm on a 15-minute chart, I'm taking a 45-minute trade. And if I'm on a 1-hour chart, I'm taking a 3-hour trade. Drop a money sign in the chat if that makes sense. If you had a breakthrough when it comes to why you haven't been profitable with trading or why you might have been scared in the markets, drop a 333 in the chat. You're missing your checklist, man. You forgot your keys, right? You left them on the counter. You completely forgot. You need a checklist. You need some structure. You need some rigidity because you're going to see the water in the desert if you don't got the checklist. All right. You don't got the checklist. You're going to start seeing stuff in these markets. Your mind's going to convince you that you want to be right more than you want to be rich. And as soon as you start wanting to be right more than you want to be rich, it's all downhill from there. So let's go through these markets. I'm not going to take too much of your time for the next 10 minutes really quick. And let's see if the market has anything to give us. All right. So we're going to go to AUD CAD again. Let's see if maybe it retraced a little bit and came back to where we were. Oh, 5 minutes not above the red cloud. All right. So ideally, we would want price to kind of come up to this line. All right. We would want to wait until price came up to this line, right, again and touched it. I want to wait for price to come up to this line again and touch it. So we're going to look at this for a second. We're going to see, hey, does this blue line, we're going to wait for it to come into our trap. All right. We're going to set a booby trap right here. I'm going to put a line here. You know what's even crazier? All right. I'm going to put a line here, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to put that line there. And if I drew that, obviously, if I took that line all the way across on like a 1-hour time frame, that's probably a pretty important support and resistance line. Let's put it in the body of the candle. Let me show you guys something. Pretty cool. It's actually weird how this works. If I take this line all the way back, right, and I see that it's touching multiple places, touch, and then I go all the way over here, look exactly how the market came back up. The blue, okay, the blue candles literally go right back up to that line. Isn't that nuts? So on the 1-hour time frame, what have we been waiting for? We've been waiting for the market to come back up to that blue line. We got the sell signal above the red, below it, and we saw everything. But since we're like hyper viewing this thing, right, this is what we're looking at. We're waiting for the price to go up here. Now, guys, the train is leaving the station. This thing is just going down. It doesn't want to wait for us. It doesn't want to come back to that line. It's just tanking, and you guys can see it being reflected here, all right? So if I were to just kind of, I look at candles, all right? If I were just kind of look at this thing just melting right now. So if we would have taken the trade at the 15-minute, at the line, literally when it called it, we would have been in profit and cleared that trade. Now I would have entered 2% of my account, 2% of my account on that trade. 5-minute time frame. We got a sell signal, but do we have a red cloud? Can you guys tell me? Do we have a red cloud here? Are we going to take a 5-minute trade? We got the sign. What color cloud is that? Nope, we're not going to take it. So let's go to the next pair. CAD Jappy, melting as well. Let's type it in. Let's go to the daily real quick. What direction is this thing going in the daily? Can anyone tell me? Right now, in the last, since this is the last like month, guys, so you don't want to go all the way over. You don't want to look at this because this is like January, all right? So you want to zoom in to like the last, this is daily chart, so each candle's a day. We want to go back to like the last 60 candles, 90 candles to kind of look at it. Downtrend, right? So we'll draw some SRTs on here real quick. We can actually just stick with here. We're taking the trend line in the toolbox over here. I saw in the chat box, you guys wanted a couple messages. We're taking the trend line out of the toolbox over here, and we're going to see, hey, can we draw a trend line on this thing? Trend line's kind of ugly on here. Then we're going to take it, and we're going to say, hey, we're going to draw some horizontal rays. We're going to draw some support and resistance. All right, go to the 1 hour. Didn't mean to do that one. Draw a couple more. It's all good. We're not taking a trade right now. It's not lining up. All right. It's calling out buys. We missed the station here. We're not looking for buys because this thing is going down. Right? We're trading a trend strategy. So we're not going to trade reversals. All right. We're going to trade trends. So CAD Jappy is maybe shifting into a downtrend, but it's not there yet. And I'm not going to try to be a psychic or a magician and say, "Oh, I see what's happening before it even happens." I only read the data that the market's giving me. All right. So I'm not going to be a magician or anyone and try to say I know where the market's going, because you don't. You just look at technicals. So we have Euro GBP, GBP USD paying out 70% as well. So let's go over there. Let's look at that. All right. So on the daily, this thing is now shifted from an uptrend to a downtrend on the 1 hour. All right. It is nice and below. Well, we're looking good, guys. We're nice and below the red cloud or below the red web strings. We just got to sell on the hourly candle, all right, on that candle, which means on the 15-minute, we're also getting the same thing. Now, the 15-minute, we're crossing through the web strings. Now, Nes Viquez, who created the web stringer, will tell you that crossing through the web strings is a confirmation, and it is 100%. However, it is not as strong as a confirmation as being a below the red cloud. See how we're like sitting on the cloud, and it was like going up, but then it's still going down, but it's still below the red web string, but it's really tight. It's not opened up like this. They're like really tight. We don't necessarily want to take those trades. So on the 5-minute, we're also crossing down. All right. So what we could do on this, and you could technically, you could wait for the market to come back up to this red line, because everything is below sitting at, and as long as we have good support and resistance, which we'll mark up now, and we have some good trend lines, you could take it. But the 1 hour is what I'm actually really favoring right now, all right? So this is what I'm gonna do. Because I'm the type of trader that likes to set it and forget it, we're gonna go to GBP USD, and I'm gonna make money in my sleep, all right? I'm gonna make some money in my sleep. And the reason why I'm gonna make some money in my sleep is because I'm not gonna sit here and look for trades. I'm just gonna set 2% on my account, and I'm gonna forget it. All right. So let's just draw some SRTs real quick to make sure that we're not hallucinating and we're not seeing things that aren't there. All right. Let's actually go ahead and draw some support, resistance, and trend lines really quick on the daily. So my mind's not seeing things. I want to make sure that what the market's telling me is in fact true. All right. So we have the trend line above, below the cloud. Cool. Daily looks good. All right. Let's see if we can find another floor over here that we might be approaching, so we don't get faked out, like I said before. All right, that was like a little floor here, little ceiling there. Let's see what else we got here. This line down there was wicked, and it was wicked, it was wicked. So we have another one there. So the market on the daily is kind of in between support and resistance, but on the 1 hour, it's doing some things. All right. On the 1 hour and 15-minute, since we're taking 15-minute trades, 45-minute trades, this is really what we're looking for. But since we're looking at the 3 hour right now, and we're looking for a 3 hour position, I want to look at the most recent, hourly chart. And what I'm looking for is directly to the left. All right. I'm going to look left, directly to the left. Was my resistance a previous support? Support? Resistance. Does everyone see that? Do you see that box I just drew? Do you see how, let me back this thing up real quick and then zoom in. All right. Does everyone see my screen? Do you see how the box from the left has been respected all the way now to when I got that sell signal? So what I did is I just looked left. I got a good picture. And guys, this is what I'm trying to stress to you is like, trading is not so much about, I can come on here and say, let's just take a bunch of trades and, see if we can make some money together. Or I can teach you guys how to do this and you can actually understand. So you can do this long-term and you can actually enjoy it and it can actually pay for some bills or buy you some Gucci or whatever it is that you want to do with your money. Go save the world, feed the homeless, whatever it is that you want to do with your money is beautiful. That's cool. But the only way to do that is consistency in your mind. So I have this box here, right? And on the 1 hour time frame, I have a candle. It's crossing through the red line. So ideally, I would have wanted to take this trade up here at this red line. So on the 15-minute time frame, All right, it's going through, it's starting to cross through, everything's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and take a 1% risk on this trade. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I didn't catch it at the red line. All right. I didn't catch it at the red line. If I would have caught it right here, I'm taking 2% risk. Because it's a little bit lower than I want it to be, and it's still a valid trade, I'm not going to take a 2% risk trade. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm on the 1 minute time frame. I'm just going to go ahead and now go on my broker, and I'm going to wait for price to come back up. I'm gonna draw 1 minute support resistance just so I can get the best entry possible, and I'm gonna wait for price to come back up to where it touched left. Touch. Okay, I'm gonna wait for price to come back. When price comes back up to this 36231 area, I'm gonna go ahead and execute my 3-hour position. All right, I don't want to get sloppy and just take it here when I could be patient and just take it up here. And maybe that 23 little points would be the difference 3 hours from now, me winning the trade. So I'm going to wait for it to come back up. All right. So there's this small little support resistance on the 1 minute, just so I have the best entry possible. And I'm going to go ahead and take a 3-hour position on GBP USD. Now, if it doesn't come back up here, even on the 1 minute chart, this is where, you guys, some of you guys that are like, I just want to make some money. Just show me how to make some money. This is where you guys can get a little mad at Awal, is I'm not going to take a trade. If it doesn't come back up and it doesn't come to exactly where I set the trap for it, that makes sense and follows my strategy, I'm not going to take the trade because I'm not going to chase the trade down. So you guys have the exact region 231 to actually, look at this thing, 231 to actually take this trade. If it spikes up and comes up to 231 area between 231 and 237, we're going to go ahead and execute, all right, a 3-hour position. 3-hour position. Why? Because we're saying that, hey, the market's going to go 1, 2, 3 candles down. And all we got to do in options trading, ladies and gentlemen, is clear by 1 point. Meaning if you enter a trade here and the market ends up here, you still won. If it ended up here, you lost. But if you ended up all the way down here, you cleared a big trade. You cleared a nice position, and you had some wiggle room to do it. So guys, I am so excited to dive deep into not just the mindset of trading, but these longer term HFX positions that you can kind of set and forget. I don't get stressed about it. I don't roll over in my bed wondering if I won or lost, because I got rules, I got a checklist, and I have some risk management, and I'm here for the long game. I'm building the business and I'm trading at the same time. I'm investing in crypto and I'm doing everything at the same time. So I don't need to chase this money. I'm not here to get rich overnight. I'm just here to get rich. And I'm not going to delay the process by thinking short-term minded. I'm going to think long-term minded, and I'm going to get the results a lot faster. So I appreciate you guys for having me on this session. Hopefully you had some breakthroughs in the markets tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't get into a position because nothing landed in our lap, and we're not going to go against our rules no matter what day it is, no matter who it's for. I could be trading in front of the president. I'm not breaking my rules, because my rules are my rules, and it's the only thing that gives me structure and the only thing that keeps my account alive. But if it comes up here, which it might, we're going to go ahead and take a 3-hour position. Steve, I appreciate you having me on the call. MXM, appreciate you guys jumping on. I go live inside of the platform on Monday the 26th. So literally next Monday, I go live. And I'm going to be in the HFX Go Live. I'm going to be doing Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 9 p.m. EST. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. EST. On my first session, I will be doing a $500 Bitcoin giveaway just to give back, just to show my gratitude for what's happening right now. And I want to be able to help people in their trading journey. So hopefully maybe having a little bit more money in their account would enable them to actually take this thing to the next level. And I want to be the person to provide that. So I'll be doing a $500 Bitcoin giveaway on my session on Monday. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. Steve, I'm going to pass it back to you, brother. I appreciate you for jumping on. Hopefully you learned something too. Let's get it.
All right, guys. Hey, if you got value from tonight's call, drop a 777 in the chat box. And thank you, Awal, for being on here. We appreciate you, and we look forward to your sessions. For all of our guests here tonight, you're probably saying, man, that was a lot of information. Where do I get started? Now, here's what I'll tell you, okay? When you first start this, we want to take you through the ABCs of trading. We want to take you from the very, very beginning, and we want to show you exactly how to do that. And I'll have you guys off of this call here in the next 3 minutes. So let me share my screen with you guys real quick. You know, before you ever dive into a chart, you know, step one is going to be going through an academy. We want to show you the basics of trading. I'm talking about what are these currency pairs? Where did this come from? What's traded in this market? And guys, we've got several other markets as well, including the standard Forex market and the digital currency markets. Now, what Awal was talking about, Go Live is literally like our Netflix of trading. You'll have access to this, guys. We have close to 200 educators on here now, and you will have Awal on here very, very soon. It's powerful. And then just like you saw the scanners, you will have access to these amazing strategies, all available on the im.center. All right. We've got dozens of scanners with dozens of strategies built in, and you'll have access to those scanners. Now, in order for you to get started, guess what? Most programs are thousands of dollars. For the HFX program, it's typically $235. Right now, there's a special promo going on. You can actually get started for $209. Guys, that's nothing, okay? When you look at what other platforms are charging, that's absolutely nothing. And then 28 days from today, 4 weeks from now, it'll be $174.95, okay? And it's no contract. Stay as long as you want. But people that trade with us, guys, they trade forever. And in fact, hey, if you've ever gotten value from this platform, if you've made money from this platform, do me a favor and drop a number 1 in the chat box so our guests can see that the results are here and that people are earning on this platform, all right? And look at that, guys. We've got people all around the world that are earning on this platform. Now, we do have an elite package, and I want to explain what that is. This comes with about $900 worth of add-ons. You'll be able to learn from all of our different scanners with the exception of one. You'll also get access to 5 different trading apps. We even have an HFX app that sends trades right to your phone, and it'll give you access to our digital currency package as well as our Forex package. Guys, you can get all of this. It's usually $325. You can get that for $274.95. So very, very affordable, and you'll get about $900 worth of stuff, all right? And that has a monthly, so 28 days later, it'll be $274.95 each month after that. And the company has an amazing program where literally when you get started, you get a referral code, share that code with 2 people, invite them to the next call, and you get your monthly tuitions waived for free. 2 people that you invite, you can literally have a free tuition forever. So guys, get back to the person that invited you, get your questions answered, and most importantly, my friends, take action. The best time to start trading is right now. Go out there and get after it. I wish you massive success. My name is Steve Max, AKA Max the Mentor. Go out there and get after it.